Good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Kelly, and I'd like to welcome you back to another Tech Talk in our series sponsored by Remake Labs. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing Joseph McGarry to give us a brief talk on the IoT. So without further delay, I'd like to turn it over to you, Joseph.
Thank you, Sean, for that warm introduction, and thank you, Remake Labs, for sponsoring this Tech Talk. So today, we're going to be talking about the Internet of Things. What is the Internet of Things, you ask? Well, it's a collective network of devices that can communicate with themselves and the Internet. This interconnectivity allows for extremely accurate and rapid data collection, utilizing software and sensors. So here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the who, the when, the what, the where, the how, and most importantly, the why. So let's start with a brief history of how the Internet of Things got started. So, like me, David Nichols had a love for Coca-Cola. And in the early 80s, this Carnegie Mellon grad student decided he was tired of walking from his office all the way down the hall, only to find the Coke vending machine out of Cokes, or the ones that he did find were warm. So he came up with this idea. What if he could remotely monitor this machine and know if they were cold and know if it was stocked full of Coke? So he proposed this idea and he gathered a team of 3 other men, and they came up with this software that was able to use the lights in the machine when they would blink and let you know how many Cokes were in that machine. Not only could it tell you how many were left, it could also tell you if they were cold or not based on when the machine was last restocked. After 3 hours, it would send a message that the Cokes were cold. Also, this was happening on the ARPANET when only 300 computers worldwide were connected to this primitive form of the internet. Let's move forward 20 years to 1999. We've got computer scientist Kevin Ashton of Procter & Gamble. He's credited with coining the term the Internet of Things. He proposed using radio frequency identification chips on products to track them. He merely used the term internet because of the buzzword, and he knew it would grab the attention of the executives. So let's talk about some of the first major instances of the Internet of Things that we've seen. LG created the first smart fridge. Apple launches the iPhone. Google begins testing driverless cars, and then it releases the Nest thermostat. So what does the Internet of Things look like? Well, it kind of looks like this. To see here, you can see how we're just constantly surrounded by these devices. Some of them that you might not even be aware are the Internet of Things. So let's take a closer look. We've got continuous data collection with these devices. They use sensors and smart appliances to continuously collect data about their environment, user interactions, and operational status. With real-time communication, this data is transmitted via wireless networks, allowing other devices to communicate with each other, as well as with the centralized systems or cloud platforms. This data is processed and analyzed, either on the device, which is considered edge computing, or on the cloud, and they use this to extract actionable insights. This can be used for automated decision-making. The insights derived from this data can trigger automated actions by the devices themselves, such as adjusting temperature or optimizing energy use without human intervention. Lastly, we have learning and adaptation. Over time, the Internet of Things systems can learn to perform from data patterns and user preferences to predict needs and adapt their behavior, enhancing the efficiency and the personalization. Let's take a look at where the Internet of Things are most commonly found and their uses. So there are over 15 billion devices worldwide. Remote asset monitoring is the most popular use. This is expected to double in number in just 6 years. The estimated value of this industry is currently at $662 billion. That's roughly the global market of semiconductors or the entire US media and entertainment market. That's music, games, TV, etc., all included. And next year, it's projected to be 1.1 trillion. And the fastest growing market is in Pacific Asia. So let's take a look at some charts and graphs to just see how it kind of pans out across the world. So here we can see that Asia Pacific is the leader in devices by region, followed by Europe, North America, Japan, and Latin America. We can see that by 2030, how quickly these devices are going to grow. Now we've got the proportion of these devices versus non-Internet of Things devices. As of 2020, Internet of Things devices outnumbered non-Internet devices globally. It's expected that by 2025, Internet of Things devices will outnumber those that are not Internet of Things by 3 to 1. So here are some of the uses for these Internet of Things devices. We've got smart devices, which are wired or wireless, context-aware electronic devices capable of performing autonomous computing and connecting to other devices to exchange data. We've got Internet of Things applications, which is a collection of services or software that integrates data received from various devices. This usually uses machine learning or artificial intelligence to analyze this data and make informed decisions. And then, of course, we have the graphical user interface, or the GUI, which is the human-machine interface used to interact with the devices and their data, usually via icons and visual indicators. So let's take a look at smart devices specifically. We've got phones, speakers, cars, watches, thermostats, security cameras, glasses, things like that. Personally, I have a Woofy cam. For those of you who don't know, I have a cat named Woofy. And sometimes I like to travel to Canada to see my partner's family. We miss our cat. I can get on my phone, I can send treats to Woofy, I can talk to Woofy, and I can see him. All of this thanks to the Internet of Things. We also have the analysis. This collects data from its environment, user inputs or usage patterns, and communicates that data over the internet to and from its Internet of Things app. And then we utilize this. The user benefits from this collection of data and the application to their daily lives. So some of these applications, the industries they're used in: healthcare, industrial automation, smart homes, buildings, cities, automotive industry, and many more. These applications can be used to streamline and enhance the business process, enabling new revenue models and provide real-time data for product and service development through remote monitoring and control. One of the biggest things about this is working smarter. Again, utilizing machine learning and artificial intelligence to do some of the heavy lifting so that we don't have to. Lastly, we're going to cover the graphical user interface. We've got native apps. So think about when you go to the App Store on your phone and you download that little app that's got nice icons you can click on, very user-friendly. Then we have web applications. We have the hybrid, which is the mixing of two, and my favorite, the Beyond. So the Beyond, I want you to think about the Google Nest thermostat, right? It's on the wall. When the air is on, the background is blue. When the heat's on, it's red. You can set it. You can easily adjust it with your finger. You can even check it from your phone. Another thing, when I walk into my home, we have a Google Nest hub. As I walk by it, it greets me in the morning. This thing can see and talk to me. So part of the graphical user interface is identifying your users and defining who they are, which can be complex because it requires clear roles and permissions while considering security features. Also, the UI UX is crucial for solutions, emphasizing the importance of accessible and interactive designs. Dashboards should be responsive, while alerts, notifications enhance the user's experience. All right, let's go ahead and put these pieces together. These sensors are much like humans. They have sight, taste, smell, touch, and hearing. So I've talked about the Woofy cam, we've talked about hearing as well. These machines can hear us, they can talk to us. Scientists are now also working on allowing them to smell and taste at a molecular level. And if any of you have a Fitbit, you know that it can vibrate to wake you up and various other things like that. But what these sensors can do that humans aren't great at is giving very specific data, right? You walk outside, you know it's humid, but how humid? You know that it's bright out, but how bright? You can feel the water moving on you, but what is that flow rate? Why? Now we're going to get to why all of this is important. So as we move into the future, we're going to be faced with some potentially troubling scenarios. So let's talk about agriculture. Currently, we've been approaching agriculture as, all in. We have infinite water. We can use as much as we need. But some of us know that's not the case, right? So moving forward, we'll have devices and sensors monitoring our agricultural fields, orchards, all of those kinds of things. It will tell you how much moisture is in the soil. Does it need to be watered? If so, where? You don't have to just blanket your whole field in water if certain areas don't need it. What about nutrients and fertilizer? Maybe certain areas don't need as much. So kind of imagine this autonomous machine going out, and as it passes these sensors, it has this map, this data map of nutrients needed, and can deposit those on these large acres and acres of fields to specifically deliver the nutrients that are needed to that farm. It's pretty awesome, right? All right. Now, 40 years in the future, that's me. I'm on a stroll out and about. I'm in my mid-70s. Thanks to a torrid love affair of chicken wings over the past 60 years, my health isn't the best. All right, so I'm walking, birds are out, the sun is shining. All of a sudden, I get a little notification on my Fitbit. It alerts me that it thinks I'm starting to have a heart attack. It advises me to take 2 aspirin as soon as possible. Not only is this reading my vitals and data collected over years and years to make a baseline, it's now giving me advice. Meanwhile, simultaneously, the doctor, my general practitioner, is being notified that I might be having a heart attack. Also, that's happening at the hospital and an ambulance is dispatched. Now, the EMTs are getting records. They know I'm allergic to bee venom and penicillin. They know all of my history, my health history right now. And now I get to meet my grandkids. So, in summary, the Internet of Things is the ubiquitous connectivity connecting billions of devices worldwide, enabling seamless communication between these devices, systems, and people, enhancing efficiency in decision-making processes. The diverse applications from smart homes and healthcare to industrial automation, and smart cities, Internet of Things applications span numerous sectors, driving innovation and improving the quality of life. These data-driven insights that are generated by these Internet of Things devices provide unprecedented insights, allowing for optimized operations, predictive maintenance, and personalized service. The future potential is that these devices will revolutionize how we live and work by enabling smart environments that anticipate and respond to our needs, promoting sustainability, opening new avenues for economic growth. This continued innovation lies with emerging technologies such as AI, 5G, and blockchain, continuing to make our lives better. So before we move to questions, I would like to end this tech talk with a quote. We live in a time full of opportunity for imaginative individuals. In our lifetime, we will witness the emergence of more and varied forms of human-computer interaction than ever before. Now, I'm going to open the floor to any questions. It appears there are no questions. So let's take a look at the works cited. And again, I want to thank all of you who came out to listen to this tech talk. If any of you have any questions about what I've discussed, please reach out over LinkedIn and feel free to check out my GitHub. And then lastly, I'd like to thank Remake Labs for sponsoring this tech talk. Now back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much for that informative talk, Joseph, and thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We'll see you at the next one.